like the sky, far and high, is crystal clear, made to hear when you're near. Feet standing still, ready to walk at your will. Don't know if we formed from lava, yeah. If matter's only solid now, but the story's true. I flew to this earth for you. Real thing, baby. Oh, oh, oh. This is the real thing, baby. Oh, oh.
Welcome to the first episode of my creative journey with one of the most infamous creative people I've ever met in my life, Justo Ontario. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to dive in. I want to know a little bit about you and how you get to, where you're at now creatively.
How do I get to where I'm at creatively right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
Just your journey, who you are.
All right. Well, my name's Justo Ontario. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, and I'm also a teacher by day, rock star by night. So, and yeah, pretty much like, for the most part, I'm a recording artist, and I create music that I hear in my head, and I convert it into life lessons, or I convert it into moments for people to make with themselves, or make with whoever they're with, or wherever they're at, type thing.
Okay, cool. So where exactly are you from?
I'm from, specifically, I'm from Northern Virginia, in a town called Woodbridge, and a section in Woodbridge called Dale City.
Dale City, little DC.
Dale
Somebody told me
City.
that said,
right. I know, right? And yeah, so I'm from the DMV area, and I currently live in New York. I've been living in New York for the past 7 years.
Okay, so what made you go to New York? If you're from Virginia, what made you leave?
You did.
Oh, okay. By the grace?
No. But I always knew that. I always knew I wanted to move to New York since I was a kid. So when I saw Home Alone 2, for the first time, I was like, yo, that's where I want to be. And yeah, I've always been fascinated with New York. So when I got older and the time came to move, and I knew I wanted to be around more of that energy in New York, and the offices in New York. So yeah, and you know what? That's when you kept on egging me yo, just move out here, dog. And yeah.
Because I remember that time, but I didn't know. I can't pinpoint were you in Virginia? Were you at school? Where were you?
I was back in Virginia, and I was just substitute teaching, and then yeah, that's all I was doing. I mean, I was making music, yes, and actually, not to take that lightly. I was in Virginia still making music and everything, and developing myself as an artist and making music with other creatives and musicians out there and artists. And from there, we made a collective called the Five Senses, and it was me, Leon Knight, Tavon, Noose. Let me see, who else? I think Shabuzi was in it. And yeah, it was a good collective of creatives that we all, every day after work, we was all going to our homie Leon Tavon's crib in the basement making music and everything. And then so eventually though, when we got a little older, Leon, Tavon, and Noose, they all moved to Cali, and I ended up moving to New York. And yeah, and from there, I think that was probably the best decision I ever made, moving to New York.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you encountered, having that transition? Because I know when I moved to New York, I was like, yeah, I'm about to make it. And I was like, oh my God, I am
Yeah.
broke.
Hey, New York will definitely have you like, oh, I'm making it. And then, oh, damn, I'm broke. It will really
Real
have you
quick.
like that. It can go like that within a matter of hours.
Yes, that's a fact.
In a matter of hours.
I want to
yo.
know how was that for you?
I would say like, all right. So maneuvering throughout New York, I think what made it a lot smoother and things not fall apart as bad as they could is the fact that like I just had dope ass relationships with people, like, you know, and so that transition, I will say it was sort of smooth, you know, because like New York is one of those places where it's just like it's going, and you gotta find
That's a
that
fact.
you gotta find that spot where you just gonna hop in at and go with the flow with, you know, where you know you've been trying to go, so type thing. So but through the, you know, different obstacles I had, like I definitely like, I was like homeless for a good little while, and but you know I was always still working and everything, and so from there, like what would dig me out of those ditches was like just honestly continuing to be out and active in any type of way, just not being, you know, dang, this just went down last night and I'm down bad, but like I'm just gonna like I made sure like I wasn't just down in the dumps. If I was in the dumps, it may have been for like, you know, a half a day, but I knew I had to like go back outside and get it, you know, like whether that be, hopping on Uber so I can scrape up this bread so I can finish this studio time, or like finish whatever track, or finish paying whatever musicians I need for whatever gig. Like, you know, I did what I had to do pretty much. So like, you know, I just continuously like kept myself motivated, and I also looked to the city, you know, itself for motivation. So like a lot of times, like I was going out, and sometimes I'll just be wandering, you know, and I would wander around New York, and I would stumble across that place where I met that person type thing, you know. So like just learning how to like take a licking and keep on ticking type things would like help, you know, me maneuver through hard times out there, you know.
So do you think that there's more opportunity in New York City than it is Virginia? Because for me, I know that's another reason why I left. I said, you know what? I feel like it's just not going to happen for me here. And also for me, staying in the same environment, I just felt like I couldn't grow. So how was it for you, you know, with that? Was it like, yo, you know what? I can make it in the DMV area, you know what I'm saying? And like how, you know, that story of like Raheem Devon and Wale, of like how they kind of made it? Or was it like, you know what? I'm going to pack up my bags, go to New York City like J. Cole and make it that way? Like, what was it?
So as far as that, like leaving Virginia, I just knew like, don't get me wrong, I love, you know, I love Virginia.
VA all day.
I love Virginia.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it.
But since a kid, I'm like, I knew like this, I know this is not just it for me.
Okay.
Like I always knew this, I gotta be around more. I need more, you know, like I need to see more. I need to be around more different types of energies. Don't get me wrong, like Virginia, I feel like I love Virginia because of the people there, you know, that I love, you know, my friends and family that are from there. But like, you know, specifically where we from as a whole, like, you know, I've never felt like just from the city by itself, like inspired, like type thing, you know. So I always like being places where I'm inspired, you know. Like I said, I'm inspired by the people in Virginia, you know, and stuff, my childhood from there and everything. But like, I knew getting older, I needed to be around more. And like, so like when I was telling people I was moving to New York, and they're like, why you want to move to New York? It's fast out there. I'm like, that's why I want to move out there. I want to be around that. Like I I love that energy, and I love ambition. And what other place like in the world where you feel the ambition in the air? So like,
That's true.
yeah, yo. So like, don't get me wrong. Like always, Virginia that's home. I'm not gonna forget that, and I love, you know, being where I'm from. You know, I do love being from there, but I just knew it wasn't. I knew I couldn't live here like my whole life. I knew that.
So now you're in New York. You know, you're hustling. You're trying to do something. I'm just trying to paint a picture.
Yeah.
Where what was, because you're a musical artist, right?
Yeah.
What was the first record that you put together in New York?
Let me see. In New York, shoot, man. For one of the first ones I remember is when. Well, I guess you thinking when I moved there.
Yeah, when you moved there.
I'm about to say, I'm thinking that one record that I cut at the crib when you was in the Bronx, Black Dust.
We recorded that in the crib, didn't we?
In the Bronx.
Oh crap, we sure did. Yeah, Mount Eden, stand up for a train. You know what it is?
Exactly. You already know. So yeah, I mean that was one of the first records. But I'm trying to think the first record I cut in New York. Dang, what was it? Okay. Nah, that don't count. I would say I'm trying to think. What was that? We recorded mad stuff, bro.
Yeah, we recorded mad songs.
But okay, the first record I released while I was in New York was like officially released in New York was the dancing record. Like, I mean, I got that finished up in New York. And yeah, I got the guitar added in there, and we had my homie Rashawn mix that down for the last part. And yeah, that was like the first record I put out in New York was the dancing record. And that record probably was the one that got me like the most buzz I got on like the internet. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So can you tell us, and again, there's no hate on NYC, like
Not
NYC kind of like raised us.
Right.
Right.
Real.
But what's something that you love from NYC and something that you hate?
All right.
That's a good question.
All right. One thing I love about NYC is whatever it is that you're looking for.
Okay.
Somebody is selling it.
Oh my God.
No.
Okay.
Not like.
Listen, I'm just saying, you said that. I didn't.
Shut up. I'm saying like, if it's New York is good, like it's so dope that whatever specific thing that you need, like it's somebody, either you know somebody that does it or you know somebody that knows somebody like directly type thing, you know. For example, like if, you know, when I was looking for somebody to like, okay, all right, I need somebody that knows how to make this type of clothing but doesn't use this type of material. Like you can find somebody in New York that literally makes specifically like shoes that are made out of bamboo or some shit like that.
Oh
like,
my God.
just that's what I love
That's what
about
you
New
mean,
York.
yeah.
Like, it's very, very like, it's mad stuff is accessible. And on top of that, like whenever you want it, you can get it. You know, if it ain't there today, it's gonna be there tomorrow type thing. So
again, I like to know, because this show is like based on your creative journey.
Oh yeah.
So I want to know what was your day-to-day jobs? Like, where did you work?
All right. So when I first got to New York, I was working at a summer camp, and it was a
community. Sounds like you were giving back to the community.
Yeah, no. If anything, that's probably like my main, you know, that's one of my main ways of giving back to the city. You know, I've always worked with kids. So I've always kept a job that involved like, either teaching, if not teaching, like mentoring. If not mentoring, then assisting like kids in any type of way, you know. And like I always, my niche is the middle schoolers. So like, I think the middle schoolers they're so like, they're a good age group to work with for me because it's like their ego hasn't swallowed them completely alive just yet. So it's easy to help, mold them into a doper, more precise direction for them to go to when it comes to like expressing themselves and their creativity. So yeah, that's sort of how I get some of my creativity out, is like teaching it to the kids, type thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. And then other jobs, I've had like jobs where I was working in the food, but it was just horrible. I mean, yeah, that was when I was down to like, desperate. But working with food though, I mean, it taught me some cool little stuff to put together in the crib. Just recipes that I learned from different places. But for the most part though, I always like my side hustle was always working with the kids though.
Oh, dope. That's dope.
Yep.
That's dope. So who is someone creatively that you worked with that like wowed you, that you're like, oh my gosh, like, man, I gotta always create with this person, or they inspire me to create?
I would say, all right, a moment was definitely like when I was assisting Elle Varner for a little bit in her dad.
Cool. Yeah.
Like,
Shouts out to Elle, the
Yeah,
homie.
shout out Elle. Jim, miss y'all. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, when I was working with them, like, that put me in a whole different perspective and like a whole different fulfillment and a whole different motivation behind what I'm doing. Just seeing like how well they work together when they're creating, and just how beautiful it was. I really got to sit back and see like the lifestyle of like a full-time like artist type thing, and seeing her like how she was coming up with songs and practicing and molding her craft, like that helped keep me on my A game. Like, all right, I would get back done like working with them for the day, and then I would go back to the crib and like, all right, bet. I'm about to finish. I got inspired. She inspired me to finish writing this one song, or like Jim inspired me to, I don't know, figure out some type of chord that I usually would be too scared to even like attempt to make or something like that. And so like being around them, like aside from them being like, artists and musicians, like I think they're like, honestly, they're dope creatives, They're very, very dope creatives in general. So like, yeah, that was like that's one of the highlights for who I would say right now in this moment I'm in, who I was inspired by.
Okay, so outside of working with, who is someone, dead or alive, that you are like, man, this person changed my life creatively? Like, man, every time I listen to their music, every time I just listen to their or see their performance, who is that person?
Straight up, I'm always pay homage to the Neptunes,
You only saying that because you're from Virginia.
No.
Bias.
No, right. No. You don't understand. Like,
you couldn't pick Dr. Dre. We in Compton. You couldn't pick that. You couldn't pick him.
You gonna say this on camera right now? But nah. Shout out to Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, he the king.
Right.
He the king. He one of the kings. So, but now the Neptunes though, like outside of them being from Virginia, like they just listening to like how they came up with stuff, and they just really, really inspired me and taught me that less is more, when it came to like production, and so, and just, less is more, and like just where it's about where you place stuff, like where you, even if you do add more, it's just about where you place it, and not oversaturating it with more type thing, and shoot, I could go on all day about them, but just like, and also the sounds they use, like just outside the box stuff. And I'm a advocate for like innovation when it comes to like damn near anything. So when I was a kid, and of course, like listening to mad music as a kid, I was able to pinpoint, a Neptune's track because like just how distinctive and innovative their sound was, and so like it definitely like it rubbed off on me. It made me want to okay, I know like R&B usually has Rhodes or like pianos in it, but like let's not be afraid to add this synth or this weird snare or this like slapping what do you call it, a real punchy kick or whatever, so like yeah, it just inspired me to just think outside the box when it comes to this whole with creating music and everything.
So out of the group, who is your favorite?
What?
Oh, I had to ask.
The Neptunes, and in my eyes, the Neptunes is the Neptunes.
Okay.
The Neptunes. I can't. Don't get me wrong. Everybody know Pharrell's the superstar, but Neptunes together, I feel like, yeah, they balance each other out very well, I think.
Okay.
So, and honestly, like, part of me don't even know what specifically that Chad would do or Pharrell would do, even though most of the time I could tell. I could probably guess when Pharrell came up with the drums for something, which I think he probably came up with majority of the drums for this stuff. But anyway, but Chad, I feel like Chad always added like just something that was, he was the person that I think he added a certain balance when it came to like, whatever Pharrell provided to the record and everything. And like I said, I can't pinpoint exactly who exactly did what, but like I could hear the difference between a track that Pharrell made by himself and a track that the Neptunes did together.
Okay.
So yeah.
I think it's the creative input.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
instead of
yeah,
like solely like, oh, this is the right way or the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's because, you know what, someone else has a set of ears and then be able to add and contribute to it.
Exactly.
And that's why you were able to get, the Neptunes.
Yeah.
Right?
Indeed.
I do believe that. So what is something or who is something that you felt has taken away certain creative moments that you could have, you could have been creative? I know for me, there were times when finances helped me be creative. I'm like, yo, you know what? I ain't have it. So I just wrote something, all this pain.
Yeah.
I was going through things. And then there were moments where I felt just defeated.
Yeah.
And I felt like, you know what? I can't be creative. I can't really live out my best today.
Yeah.
So what are some of those things that you may battle? What are some of those battles?
Shoot, for real, just a lot of overthinking and comparing my path to somebody else's path. Like that's probably like where I used to get like the most down out, like, and yeah, numbers too, the whole number thing on social media. And, that sometimes when you think something about the like pop, and it just don't hit like how you thought it was going to hit. But it's mostly, it can be boiled down to me comparing it to somebody else's project that dropped or their, whatever it is that they posted that might be doing like, oh dang, like how come my followers ain't showing love like how they followers showing love type thing, so yeah, that like there'd be times where like stuff like that would get me down. I'm like, I need to just sit down and go back to the drawing board and just, but it's like, and honestly, like I definitely should have been just saying, okay, all right, I'm gonna learn from that, or I'm gonna peep, what some type of techniques or skills that they might be using to get that type of like attention or traffic to whatever post or whatever record they released. And I can learn from that and apply it to what I'm doing versus just saying like, just sitting back like, damn, well, what I'm going to do now? No, okay, step it up.
Okay, I hear that.
You
I hear
know,
that.
step it up. You know, like I'm not about to sit and just, you know, I mean, no wrong. I used to, you know, I definitely used to, and I would be down in the dumps for like, you know, a good day. But you know, the next day, you know, you gotta, you really do gotta be like, at least being a creative, like you just cannot be so stagnant and thinking too much, you know, and letting your mind run rampant about what could happen, you know, type
That's
thing. It's
real.
like whatever it is you're thinking about was most likely something that's in the future, which isn't here, or you're thinking about something that you should have did, which is in the past, which isn't here. Instead of just focusing in on like, all right, bet, okay, I peeped that this didn't do as well as I thought it was going to do, or this didn't pan out how I thought it was going to do. All right, well, let me keep on adding to what I got. You know, let me keep on adding to what I got. Let me keep on moving with what I have, type thing.
So, as you were saying, I want to definitely ask this question. Did you ever see yourself stopping?
Nope. I feel like
Why? Why not? You know what I mean? Why not? Because I know we feel so challenged as creatives sometimes, and we feel defeated that we can get to that place where you're like, you know, I'm done. Like I'm tired of this. So
yeah.
what makes you continue to do what you're doing?
I mean, honestly, just because I know this is who I am, you know, I know this is who I am, and I know I have a purpose that's way greater than whatever my current, you know, situation or my current holdup is, you know, like I already know, like, because since as a kid, like I always had people that were not, I mean, that were and are, but I always used to have, I grew up in church a lot, and I used to have people that would sometimes call me out from like the crowd and like ask to pray for me specifically. And one thing that I would always peep is like they're like, a lot of people that prayed for me, or prophesied over me, like they everything they said was very, very, very similar. I mean, for real, it was all the same. It was all the same message, and it was basically that I'm a light in a lot of dark places, and that I have a great, like I know I have a great purpose, and it's not on a small scale at all. So, and I just know the thing that I'm the most confident in, I feel like that has a good chunk of my purpose, you know. So that's part of the reason why I know I don't know, I can't stop. I feel like I'm, you know, when you feel destined, you're just living your lifestyle, you know, to be honest. You're living the lifestyle that you know that you're supposed to be living.
On another note, what is something that you feel, you know, being a creative, that sometimes you just like, you feel like you don't want? Like I was listening to this podcast with Andre 3000, and he was talking about, like, he was like, yo, if they could just take away this feeling, I don't want it. Like you could take it all away. You know what I mean? What is something that you're like, yo, even though I'm a creative, what is something that you're like, man, I don't want it?
Something,
certain things.
Is it a creative trait or like a trait?
Creative or just in general?
Okay. I guess the feeling of it not being accepted, you know, the feeling of it not being, or the feeling, if anything, the feeling of people not getting it, you know, or the fear of that feeling. That's what I mean. Like the fear of like, dang, I wanna wear this, or I wanna put this in a song, or I want to write this lyric in it, but people might not get it, or it might go over people's heads. But like honestly, like that feeling, I think feelings like that are part of your thoughts running rampant. Like I was saying earlier, like part of overthinking and letting thoughts run rampant. Like, yo, if we could just filter out like the thoughts of like what ifs, like, and that feeling that comes along with it, because like, yeah, when you think about it long enough, yeah, you start feeling like it's actually happening. So like, yeah, that fear of like, what if they don't like it, or what if they don't get it type thing, you know, like I hate that feeling.
Okay, definitely. And as I guess as time has progressed, is there some things that you can look back at and be like, man, are there regrets being a creative?
I will admit there's only one regret that I always had. And my regret was that I didn't outwardly express myself vocally, you know, as much as I wanted to as like a kid and a teen and a young adult type thing.
And how would that have helped you now, if that's the case?
I feel like I'd be an even better interviewer. I mean, interviewee. and just also like public speaking type thing. You know, I feel like, yeah, I know how to sing it out, but like sometimes speaking it out, like I'm not as well with explaining myself. So I feel like if me starting to sing earlier as a kid, like I feel like I would be, of course, even sharper in my talent, but also like I feel like I would be able to explain myself better, which I think that's still something that can be worked on, of course. But yeah, I feel like if I would have just been more vocal when I was like a kid and a teenager, then yeah.
I can definitely see that. I think a lot of that has to do not only just our upbringing, but our confidence level, like you touched on. When you are, how's your confidence? Because I've been around you before, during, and after the show, right? And when I remember arriving, right? And I'm like, yo, what's up, Justo, right? And I felt like I was almost like a groupie or something, because like, you just didn't see me. Hold on, like you like did not see me, right? You literally like, I was like, yo, what's up, Justo? You was walking up Adam Clayton Powell, right? And you had a performance. You was walking up Adam Clayton Powell, and I was like, Justo, what's up, man? You were like, and you walked right in, and I was like, oh, like, and it wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't a bad thing. I was like, oh, as a creative, he may be only seeing the show right now. He's really focused because he's about to hit the stage.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I do get in that mode though. I do.
Yeah, see, oh, look at that. Look at God. Won't he do it? Right? So then you being on stage, you informed me at one time that it was a high.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
But how is I've never asked you after the stage. Is it a calm down? Like, what is it? Are you still on that high? Like, what is it as a creative? Like, when you go up there?
I think like, well, after I get off, it's honestly it's still a big relief, you know, because yeah, it's a relief though that.
Okay.
It's a relief that's, for me, it's more of like, okay, I have changed and I've set the atmosphere in this room to somewhere else. And now, like, you know, I'm relieved that somebody feels a little different, you know, or I'm relieved that somebody is thinking about how good my music made them feel versus like if they were worried about something when they first came in type thing. You know, I think like that's why I feel relieved. Like, okay, I've done my job. You know, I've done a good work. I've changed somebody's reality for a second. You know, I've taken them out of their own worries for a little while at least. And yeah, now they can, they can party the rest of the night.
They can party. They can party.
And now I can party the rest of the night too.
I know, like, I remember when I was a kid, don't judge a brother either. You know what I'm saying? For real. But look, like, basically, I was listening to Jay. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to some Jay. I was living in Savannah. And I was like, dang, like, man, like, I cried. I forgot what he was saying. I think it was, like, Imaginary Players. Like, I know it was, like, some of his early music. And I think I had it on vinyl because I was DJing at that time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I was DJing. So what lyrics have you conveyed that have been some of your most creative work?
That I've conveyed? I think, dang. I mean, I'm like, dang, I wrote some good shit. Sorry if I cuss. You can blur it out.
Yeah,
right?
It's out.
What was I gonna say? I probably think, dang, sorry, you got me with that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw a wild card out. I'll say "Spell on Me."
Okay.
"Spell on Me." I think that song definitely is a song that can definitely give people a different way of expressing how they feel about somebody through an outside perspective type thing. Like not looking at somebody how you perceive them from what they're displaying, or who they are, just as you know them to be. But like it helps. I think that's a song that can help people look at how amazing somebody's like aura can be when you're just looking at it from an aerial or outside perspective. That's a wild card though. But yeah, I'll say that one. If not that one, then I have another song called Changes that I put out. And that one's like not on any streaming. It was like one of my first like mixtapes that I put out,
Yeah.
And it was actually original. It was like EP, but it was on Bandcamp. It's the song Changes, and that one's about like,
yo, I like that song.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to plug them in either. It's like I really like that song.
Yeah. I think that song. I don't know what my pen game was on some stuff when I
changing.
Yeah.
Yo, I know that. Yo, that's my jam right there.
Yeah. I feel like that song, like, yeah, that song was definitely a hit homer for a lot of people, because just pretty much just how there's gonna be plenty of people that come in.
You had the little fro on the front album, the little fro with the little varsity jacket. Is that what it is?
It had the Michael Jackson Thriller anniversary jacket on.
Yeah, and it was like some lockers.
Yeah, it was I did that in college. It was
colleges have lockers?
Nah, it was the art department in the downstairs art department
really?
in school had lockers. This is the art department though, I believe. And of course, I mean, other than the lockers that are in the gyms, but like this was like hallway looking lockers. So yeah, that was in the art department.
What school was that? Did you went to?
I went to Chowan University in North Carolina.
Okay.
Small school. I remember when I first got there, they didn't even have 1,000 students yet. And I remember when they finally reached 1,000 students, they threw this like big ass party. Yeah, the school
1,000 students. That is not a big student body.
However, though, like that's what I think that's what made that school like special. The fact that it was a small school and people became like so close. And probably still to this day, like I met the most amazing people in my life at that school who literally like changed I'll just say they changed my life, like for the good, they did.
Mm-hmm. Dang, that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So if we can, let's say, see your creative workflow, like what does that look like? Like, is it, notes in your phone, notes on a pen and pad? You know what I'm saying? You got writings on the wall, like, but what does that look like, your creative workflow?
My creative workflow is first, I say a mantra,
Okay.
I say a mantra that was tailor-made for me by my homie Bliss. And yeah, I say that before I do anything, just to prepare my mind, my mind and my heart to get ready to express myself in the most vulnerable but yet like fun manner that I can, type thing. Because I don't think there's any wrong with like having fun while you're creating as well. It doesn't have to always be like, all right, let's get it. Like, nah, like it's supposed to be having fun while you're doing it too. So, and after that, honestly, like for example, like if I'm working on a song, I'll put that song on all day, or that instrumental.
Mhm.
I put it on all day, and I walk around, and I on some hippie stuff, I become one with the track. But from doing that, that's if I'm like strictly like writing. But a lot of times if I'm making a song, like I start off with, I'll make the beat,
Okay.
and the drums usually come first, and then after that the chords.
By the
And then-
grace. Okay. By the grace. They just come on in.
Yeah, nah, for real, I lay the chords down or whatever, whether it be on the MIDI controller or the guitar, and then, honestly, all I need is the beat and the chords, and that's when I start pulling lyrics from the chords out here, type thing, and if not lyrics, then the melody comes, So what I say lately, it's been a lot of the melodies coming first, So the melody comes first, and I just. Honestly, I go wherever my words and my brain take me from there,
Mhm.
Because sometimes like not every song is on personal experiences, situations that I've seen from an outside perspective, and
Yeah.
and I write about that, So, yeah, it's definitely like chords, melodies, and then lyrics come, type thing.
So a lot of people say that, a lot of words, they come from life experiences, right?
Yeah.
And as a child, like when you were growing up, who was that person? Like that was in music. Who was that person that you looked to that be like, yo, do you see what they just did? Or they hit the right note or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I know for me growing up, I used to look up to all my uncles and cousins because they all were in go-go bands. And I was like, yo, I'm about to play the congos. I'm a killer.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's not for me. And
Yeah.
I went a different direction.
Yeah,
But,
right.
but who was that person for you?
It was a combination of between my mom and my brother.
Okay.
My brother, he drums, and my mom sings, and yeah, like they're the first. It makes sense because they're the first musical people I ever knew in my life.
Ooh.
So like, so yeah, I think, just hearing my mom sing like all the time, it just, sometimes she was singing, it would make me want to cry, to be honest. And I would never like tell her that, but just.
She gonna see this interview.
I know, right?
And she gonna be like, oh, word?
Yeah.
At her birthday, she just turned 60.
She did.
Happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? I saw it on the gram. You feel me? I said, oh man, that's
6-0.
blessings.
Right,
that's
I know,
blessings,
right?
man.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yo. But yeah, my mom and my brother, like they definitely, I don't even sometimes think they realize like who they created. but at least as an artist, like they, hearing my mom sing inspired me because like, yeah, this is somebody that's like not afraid to get up on this stage and sing. And like I always like admired that, like you wouldn't, if she was nervous, you would never be able to tell, And then same with my brother, and if anything, the main thing that I appreciate about my brother's artistry is just how in my eyes, like his drumming is just so clean cut and to the point and not OD at all. Like just perfectly. Like I feel like
But he ain't trying to show off like some of these drummers.
right. And it's like he can do that. He can give you that if he wants, but he's somebody that has learned to like really, really control his, because I
He be
feel
in
like
the pocket.
yeah, exactly. And I think like I admire people who are like, clearly I could be out here giving you a full blown Kamehameha, but like
Okay.
you know, if you know,
Yeah.
So, but it's
Dragon Ball
like
Z.
because sometimes you get so like all right, I'm a talented person and I'm about to show you just how talented I am. Watch, and then like you just go in, but like I love the person who was like, I'm mad talented, but I'm gonna like show you in the most like cleanest like controlled way type thing, you know.
Mhm.
And I love that, and that's how I look at my brothers like drumming. So yeah, and my mom singing, you know, as well.
That's dope. That's dope. So if there's something that we can look forward to in the future, right? What can we expect from Justo Ontario?
You can expect some good downright hits.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, just I mean, but I feel like you can expect definitely just some fresh vulnerability and fresh just sounds. You know, like I like taking different elements of various different genres and making them up into a song and including them in a way that's like that can make you be like. One of my friends, he listened to one of my songs and he said, "Okay, I like the line that you put in there." And I get what I automatically got what he meant. He's like the lime. You know how it is when you taste something and you're like, I know this is what I'm tasting, but like I taste the lime in here. I know I don't see the lime in this, but I taste the lime.
With my palate, I can.
Yeah,
I feel what you're saying. It's like licorice.
yeah.
I feel you.
So like I like creating music like that.
Okay.
So that's what you can hear from me, and then also like being an educator as well. Like I'm always thinking of new ways or like innovative ways to help kids learn better, you know, or to learn more fluently or smoothly. So yeah.
Okay. And what are some words of encouragement? Today was the last day, my brother. What would you say? What would you tell people?
One thing I would tell people is that your sanity comes before everything. That's just my personal belief. You might not agree with it, but I just believe that your sanity comes before everything. If you know that there's something in your life that is not protecting or keeping your sane self healthy, whether it is that job, whether it's that person, like your sanity comes before everything. And so you know what it is that's keeping your sanity in a crunch or whatever. So that's the main thing I would tell people, you know. If you know if you're the most sane when you're doing this hobby or creating this, then pour into what's keeping you sane and keeping you happy on this earth. Like I said, your sanity comes before everything.
That's good stuff. So how can people get in contact with you?
You can get in contact with me by going on Google.com and type in Justo Ontario.
Google. Okay.
I'm Googleable, okay?
You out here. You out
but
here.
for real, I think
we outside.
No, trust me, like if you Googleable, like, you know, let it be known. Like all you gotta do is type my name in Google. Like that's dope. Like, so yeah, if you type in my Justo Ontario, like the lake, in Google, you're gonna find how to contact me. If not, then justoontario@gmail.com.
Dope. This has been a great episode at My Creative journey.
Yes, it has.
Where we document creatives. And another thing that I want to tell everyone that we live by is the more you create, the more you can learn. And the
Indeed.
more you can learn, the more you can give.
Mhm.
You know, give back to your community, give
Yeah.
the game to your kids and more. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like giving is like giving back to somebody, wherever you created and giving it back in some way, like that's the main like high that we get, you know?
No, that's
So,
a
yeah.
fact. That is a fact. And you can, you know, follow me at Mixed by Mark, MIXED by Mark. This has been a great episode. Thank you, my brother.
My
always
brother,
and
literally
forever.
my brother.
Appreciate you,
We're
my brother.
brothers.
For
We're
sure.
happy and
We're singing and we're colored. That's a fact. So
At Color Compton.
the plug, Colored, and we at Colored Compton. So definitely check us out. All right. Peace and blessings. Boom.